Alright everyone, it's Professor Ino095 back with somewhat of a late reviews I'll say, but better late than never because the Tuesday stream for the DivineZ or DivineZ or DivineZ, however you want to whatever you want to call it, has broadcasted, Bushiroad has broadcasted a stream on Tuesday in regards to this DivineZ anime. I'm gonna call it DivineZ because it's easier to say it that way, but there is a lot of huge changes in terms of the system, how Vanguard is going to go forward in 2024, and honestly speaking, it's a very exciting time to come back, whether you've stopped this game for quite some time or you are still continuing this game but you want to feel like more levels of excitement. I think this stream is it. This stream has provided all of this, the community, the Vanguard community, and attract a lot of newcomers to kind of learn or also relearn this entire game in general. So we have a lot of exciting news ahead for not only for the anime itself but also for the product streams in the near few months to come, up until April. So let's go straight ahead into the news, and also I also want to go through some of the promos that the promo packs that they will be also they released will be releasing on January for the shop PRs, shop tournament PRs. So stay tuned for that as well. But before we get straight into the news, if you do like this new segment, please hit like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. So what we have here is that we have the new character visuals for Vanguard Divine. So we have the protagonist over here that looks like a discount Yu. Okay, I know that everybody says that this is Yu, but in actuality it's not. We're gonna get into that. Taizo and Masanori returns, which is very surprising, but it's a welcome addition to this nonetheless. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, 4 other new characters as well, which is pretty interesting. So what we have here is that we have all of the characters ranging from all 6 nations, so we will go through one by one. But Myodo Akina will be the protagonist of the show, and he's using, as everybody can see it, this is a Kata Sanctuary deck, so this is Raziel. So that's about it. His character bios, I think the rest of the character bios is still in here, but the plot of the show is pretty simple. So the plot synopsis for DivineZ is that at a certain point in time, 6 destined cards were born, so 6 fighters are chosen to wield these 6 cards, and then they have to pit each other in a battle royale, and the last one standing gets their wish granted, right? So this is known as the Battle of Destiny. Myodo Akina, aiming to help his frail and sickly younger sister, joins the battle to have his wish granted. So he throws himself in the battle with various strong fighters, so it kind of reminds me Kamen Rider Geats. The plot is somewhat there, or Kamen Rider Ryuki, but that kind of battle royale and have your wish granted kind of trope. So very interesting. I felt like this trope is a little bit overused in terms of how some other game media is presented, but it's still an exciting story nonetheless. I'm not complaining. I'm still saying okay, yeah, it's this kind of trope again, but we have to stay tuned and get excited to see what do they have to offer. So we go straight into the character bio. So Myodo Akina will be voiced by Toshiya Miyata. His card is the Destined of Miracles Raziel. So he is Kiseki no Unmeisha Raziel. And in place of his father, who's busy with work, he looks after his sick little sister Hikari, and got first into the Vanguard due to the influence of Hikari and his senior at high school now. Due to his encounter with Gabrielius, which is one of the characters in the show, he is thrown into the Battle of Destiny, so which is nice. Raziel kind of reminds us of the Paladin / Angel Feather mechanic, so hopefully he's gonna have that kind of support playstyle mechanics as such. And then Kyokura Taizo. Taizo is back and is voiced by Mano Takumi. As you can see him playing this new Welstra. Welstra bleeds arms. So we have this bio. His character bio is that Destined of Ghost, Nostra Bleeds Arms, the young champion and scion of the Kyo Hero group, holder of the Destined of Ghost card, lives a busy life as a businessman, very gentle to ladies, and carries himself with a gentlemanly demeanor. Based on the VAs, he has no wish to particularly wants to be granted, which is kind of like surprising, but hey, whatever. We can look forward to that. Masanori is back. Of course, Morishima Shuta will be voicing him. So this Zorga looks really amazing because the fact that this Zorga is kind of like fused with a Kraken / Octopus, and he looks very more sinister than before. I really honestly dig this art better, I'm not gonna lie. And so he is the Destiny of Prohibition Zorga Naito. Naito is like that Naitaru. Okay, so his intentions are a mystery. So this is a cliffhanger from like the previous season. So he's still there, but we don't know what his aim is. Very famed Vanguard fighter and has connections with Megumi and others. Doesn't mind being seen as evil and serves as a priest in his family's business. So yes, of course, he's a monk. So that's about it. And we have Inabe Nao, so voiced by Nishio Yuka, who is the voice actress for Ichidoji Yuki in Dear Days. So it's the same voice actress. Her card is the Unmatched Destiny Vanguard Dark Breast. Okay, so she's playing Dragon Empire, which is really interesting and very surprising because there's not much girls that actually play like Dragon Empires, but also more so that there's very few girls that pilot like dragons in general, right? So like for example, Kai Toshiki actually like pilot Dragonic Overlord, but in the other sense like for girls who pilot Dragon Empire will be like on the top of my head is like Mirai piloting Baba Sakura, but she's she's a Blaze Maiden, not a dragon. So it's very interesting to see that this kind of interactions, or more like the way of like the girls ace Vanguard is actually a dragon. So that's a first, right? So her character bio is that she's a first year college student in the literature department and the holder of the Unmatched Destiny card. She is Akina's senior at the family restaurant where he works part-time. She's aiming to become a pro and is going to a training facility and caring personality and will like the others. So really nice. So can we first appreciate the art of this dragon? It looks very cool and looks very, very nice. So I don't play Dragon Empire necessarily, but like this dragon actually looks pretty sick and pretty cool, right? But this one is really, really amazing. So her name is Mikoto Saito, which is voiced by Iwata Haruki. Her card is Ever Changing Destiny Chrysaline. Chrysaline looks amazing on like first impression. Like she glows a lot. Like you can see from her, the artwork. It looks very beautiful. It looks crystalline. It shines it shines a lot. So it's pretty amazing. I like this art. I really, really dig this art. It's beautiful. It's amazing. So yes, she attends the same school as Akina and is a first year who holds the Ever Changing Destiny card. Quite popular at school. She also works as a Bishoujo idol, okay, and is a genius singer. For reasons unknown, she has recently announced that she's taking a sudden break from showbiz, which particularly for probably I'll predict that it's because of this fight as well, but probably for other reasons we may never know. This is probably just my speculations and the speculations like what she does. And then we have Suo Yobitsuki, voiced by Kawashima Rei. So his card is non-destined Bruckmeyer. So he is, of course, obviously he's playing Dark State, so playing Lyrical, Dragon Empire, Stoic Here, and Run Gate, and Cattle Sentry. So last but not least, we have Dark States as well. So he is Dark State player. So this art also hits really, really hard because it's drawn by Daisuke Izuka, so very famous, popular artist as well. So his art looks sick, and being a Dark States player, I probably will pick him up. Okay, one of sooner or later, right? So he is Akina's classmate and he is a holder of the non-destined card. Doesn't really talk to others much and doesn't express in anything, but demonstrates prodigy level skills at Vanguard. So technically speaking, like a silent genius. but like very edgy, so you know, a very nihilistic and very edgy type of person. But yeah, that's his character bio. And we have Myodo Hikari, which is voiced by Yukimura Eri. So Akina's little sister in the third year in the middle school. Her has a frail body, has been repeatedly in and out of hospital, so you can feel sad for her. So yeah. Currently, she wants a new set of pajamas. That's a very rabbit design. I think that's really cute to be included in her bio. So we might never know that if she's gonna play Vanguard in the anime in the near future. So who knows, that she probably have to pick up something. But yes, that's it. And then surprisingly, Megami is back. So Megami is, of course, there is no new Magnolia, so which draws a lot of like which kind of irks a lot of people, because why didn't Magnolia get a new form and then like she's gonna like play back Elder, right? So I mean, she kind of like say that like ditch the mask and then cut place by Elder, but then we probably want to expect a new Magnolia, so there it is. So Magnolia Elder is back, but then Megami is voiced by Shindo Amane, so of course very very popular among us as card fighters group. So we are some of us like a huge fan of Amanesu, so yes, of course she will be back. And then for her character bio, she is third year in high school, so there's a time skip, I think. Leader of Team Blackout. She has gotten her recommendation at school and spends her spare time working part-time in the card shop, so she's technically like the Misaki of the show. But then I would say that Megumi kind of like looks more mature this way. So it's like you can see that she can like develop a lot in terms of like you can see her aura of like personality being like grown up and so mature, like kind of like Kamui back then from like the Asia circuit, and then moving on to the G-era series. So you can see that character development over there. At school, she's regarded as the refined lady called Gloria Vanguard Meg, so which is pretty hilarious. So because spoiler alert, she gets called Gloria Mac in her school all the time, so that's about it. Last but not least, we have a new character named Gabrielius, which is voiced by Fukuyama Jun, otherwise known as the Loach from Code Geass. So he will be the voice actor for this character. However, his character is a little bit like a mystery for us, because we never know what's his origin to this, what's his purpose, etc. So he's a strange being who appears before Akina. No matter how you look at him, he's just a plushie, right? His pet name is Gab, alright, Gabu, alright, Gab, or like Gab, like, you know, not Gaben but Gab, okay. So Fukuyama Jun is gonna voice this character, and it's gonna be some sort of like probably some sort of like a mentor, or like some sort of like guiding character like Paimon in this game series. So like that kind of equivalent to it. So, or like Morgana in Persona 5, or like a Teddy from Persona 4. So like technically those kind of like guides or something like that, like a partner. So he's gonna probably have to do that kind of like role as well. So very interesting thing within the DivineZ. So that's for the anime part and the character introductions. So this one will be really interesting because we have a skill called a divine skill, which is like technically we call it the D skill in general, right? So the D skill is very interesting in the sense that only activates like once per turn. Not once per turn, once per fight, right? So it's like, so divine skill is over here. So all of these new A's that we have seen, and for the 6 characters introductions, we will have a D skill, and all of them can only be used once per fight. So technically it's like equivalent to a V star power in Pokemon TCG, if some of you are very familiar with it. So that's what it's supposed to do. Then for the character, and not for the character, for the product releases, they will be separated into 2 parts. For Dragon Empire, for the first 4, we have like Chrysarian, Raziel, Velstra, and Malbres will be released on the first half of in the booster pack, okay, in February, which is on a Friday. So Unmei Taisen will be the new DZ BT01, right? So they have changed it not to DBT, but they changed it in DZ BT, right? And then we have Zolga, and then we have Rackfire in the next booster set on April, which is also on Friday. So this one is Mugen Sokoku, this one will be the 6 characters, new aces, but they will be separating it into two mainline booster lines. Now, one thing all of us would be very interesting, and if you catch it very fast, is that Lyrical will be in the Lyrical main set. So whether or not Lyrical Monasterio will have their own booster, like own title boosters or like their own booster sets in the near future, we may never know. But for the time being, that Lyrical will be in the mainline booster sets, right? So if whether or not this is going to affect some sort of like a decision making in the near future in regards to other Lyrical decks or other Lyrical products, we shall see. But for the time being, we know that the Lyrical Monasterio will be in the mainline booster sets, right? So for this one, February 2024, we will have this one booster pack DZET01. So we have all the 6 nations as well, minus Bruckmeyer and Zorga. And then we have for the next product lineup, for 19th January, we have Start decks, which we'll be getting it next month. So very soon, February we're gonna get this one, and April we're gonna get the next booster set, right? So very interesting. I like the color of this booster set, not gonna lie. It kind of screams like I don't remember which booster set, but it kind of reminds me of that vibrant red and blue design. Or it kind of like reminds me like Kamen Rider builds like a statics or like whatsoever, right? So it kind of like looks good, looks pretty amazing in terms of like the color palettes or whatsoever. It kind of looks attracting as well. So that's about it. So not to mention that for the next month's trial TDs, if you hadn't pre-ordered it, just pre-order it as soon as possible in your local shops or whatsoever if they are doing pre-ordering. So they will be going around like 700 yen, which here in Malaysia, give or take, we'll be getting it for around like 30 ringgit, right? So if you haven't got it, pre-order it. Although to be fair, it's if you're not very interested to like get the trial decks, because like most of the decks will be vanilla, but you want to but I highly recommend you to get it, because it's the time that we can get like a new card which we will get into, as well as like a promo pack for like whether or not you get a PG or a Sanctitude and get one effect trigger. So I think that's okay. That's probably worth a little bit of your investment. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then a new manga called the Vanguard, the Cardfight Vanguard Skyride, will be released in January as part of Koro Comics. So Koro Comics is very popular in Japan, apparently among the children. So they will be like releasing the manga in this one, and so we'll see what it does. In January. Not sure if they're gonna have to release cards for it or for it, exclusively like from Koro. It's kind of like how like Youthquake, they release cards based on Youthquake, so we shall see as well. Now, this is really interesting because right now we are having a new mechanic in Vanguard called the energy generator. So as you can see, there's an energy generator and also a crest, right? So people are starting to make jokes that we are basically a mixed bag of all of the TCGs around. So technically speaking, we are just Vanguard and also like Digimon, right? So people were thinking like, is this memory or like, oh my god, is this a memory? Apparently it's an energy generator, but we will have to discuss like what it will do. But before that, we have to go straight into the rule changes as well. So one of the most fundamental and the most biggest announcements and changes that they have made in this particular stream was that to tell us that there is a shift in the new system starting from January 19 onwards next year. So first things first, what do they have to prioritize, right? Number one, deck size for new standard decks. Now instead of having 50 cards plus which like in Vanguard deck in standard, you have 4 right cards, like 4 right deck cards and also like 46 pink deck cards, right? So in total you have a mix of like a total of like 50 cards per deck. Now not anymore. You now have to have 4 right decks, 4 cards in the right deck, and then 50 cards in deck, which brings you a total of about like 54 cards in total when it comes to like deck building. So which is very interesting and very, very nice, because there is a lot of implications that you can go around with like the extra 4 slots in your main deck, right? So probably less deck out or less chances for you to check your triggers, and probably more places, more slots for you to tag in some of the most important cards that you felt like you've never had a space for, but you can manage to fit in. So it's really interesting about like how you can see the interactions of like some decks can benefit for it, some decks do not. It's arguable, it's debatable in that kind of sense. So we are interested to see how this development is gonna be once this system is implemented next year. Now that's for the first part. Going second, going first and going second, moving on, would be previously, when you do like rock paper scissors, or when you roll a dice, like say like like Hyrule goes first, right? Not anymore, because apparently what is really interesting is that if you win in the rock paper scissors or whatsoever ways for you to decide who goes first, like who wins in that RNG or rock paper scissors, the player who wins the rock paper scissors or gets the highest dice roll or whatsoever ways of determining go first or go second. I mean, not determining go first or go second. Like usually that's the case, right? Like say if you rock paper scissors and you win, you usually automatically go first, but not for this time anymore, because the winner will get to decide whether or not they want to go first or they want to go second, right? So which is a very huge advantage as well, because like let's say for example, if you're going to if you're playing strike deck and you want that rock paper scissors, obviously automatically you have to be forced by going first. But now that you win the rock paper scissors, you can decide you want to say I want to go second, so that you can strike first, right? So which is really interesting, and I felt like this has a lot of like the ways of like interaction, like how decks will be topping in near future, because they will be given this kind of like opportunity to decide the future or like the outcome of the match, right? So which is very, very interesting. I'm not sure how I'm not sure like how would this meta shift, but apparently some people say that like it's gonna buff up Shirane or like the strike decks more. It's probably make the duo even more OP. Some arguments around that, but that's for the for the time being. Now whoever wins the random method chooses to go first or go second. Okay, so that's really interesting. So that's about it. This and that. So 50 main deck, like 50 cards, 4 in the right deck, 46 in the main deck. After that, 50, then 4, right? So which is really interesting. Ban list update. Premium. Myrtoa is banned. Thank God. Thank you, Bushiroad, for stopping this unholy card to be topping for the near future on this earth. For the face of this earth, I do not want to see Milista topping here and there. The fact that they have banned Myrtoa is absolutely good. Please die. I support and I applaud highly of this decision. Please die, Milista. You are gone from the face of this earth. I do not want to see you ever again. That's about it for Premium. Viv and Standard, nothing changed whatsoever. No Michael bans as some people want to. No Shirane bans, like restrictions or bans whatsoever. No Luwat, nothing. No drudgery work, nothing. Everything is peaceful. Everything happens peacefully for the time being. No ban list whatsoever, right? So that's cool with us. Now, one thing which is really interesting for the DZBT01 for the next booster sets is that we will have reprints. Of course, reprints of what? A lot of things. Effect PGs from all 6 nations. Triggers, vanilla triggers, which are elementals. They are not tied to any specific nations, which means that you can play, you can play 8 crates without like looking for other nations, like not looking for other nations, like looking for like painstakingly looking for other TDs or other booster sets to buy. So vanilla triggers is back, so which is good. I like that, and if you so want to play this in premium whatsoever, that's okay. For me, the most funniest part about it is that if I were to play this one of these crits, I can put it in Chaos to play like 8 crits, because right now I have like 8 different names. We don't know that if the start deck will have to release a new type of crit, but probably they will, and I'm looking forward to that. So probably right now I have like 8 different crits already in Chaos, so that's pretty good, right? And then last but not least, this is the most amazing part of the reveal of this booster. All of the nation triggers will be like all the nation's OTs will be reprinted in addition to red and blue OT. Thank you, because I do not have to spend 150 plus ringgit just to buy that blue OT. Hopefully the price will be decreased. But then again, people, don't be too happy yet, because I doubt the ratios is gonna be very fair. So the blue OT might be very hard to find, as well as the red OT. The rest of the other nations OT is still okay. Some people might want it, some people might not use it. I mean, like, because like not buy it because like they have like a abundance of like OTs already, or like just say like a single use OT to use in every single deck. That is okay, but the red and blue OT is the main highlight of this reprints in the first place, right? So thank you, Bushiroad, finally you did the right thing for in once in a while, right? So I mean that's cool, right? Now in some of the ruling questions, and I know that like some of you guys like probably want to ask if you're going to do like 54 cards total in your deck, 4 in the right deck and 50 main deck. So what about like decks like Training Pools, Reforce Seeds, and Gacha Redora from Monster Strike, right? So does the 4 copy limit gets counted separately for the right deck and the main deck? You can only use 4 copies of the same card in both in your right decks combined. So meaning to say, if I have like say Grade 3 Bruce, okay, for example, in my right deck, I cannot have like 4 Grade 3 Bruce in my main deck as well. So the cards that in your right deck will be counted towards your the main deck, like in total of the main deck as well. So 1 Grade 3 Bruce in the right deck, and then 3 main Grade 3 Bruce in your main deck as well. So that's it. And then you can only have 16 triggers, no more, no less. So that's the most fundamental part of the change. And just to clarify something, so for decks that have like Gacha Redora or like special right decks, you still have to play that for like 5 restrictions. So let's say for example, Reforce Seed has like 5 starts the deck with like 5 cards in the right deck. It will be 55 cards, right? So it doesn't really change a lot of things. It doesn't really change much of the ratios or whatsoever. So like you still have like 15 cards, like 15 triggers in your main deck, and 1 over trigger in your right deck, and then the rest will still stay the same. Same goes for Training Pool as well. So that's about it. So your main deck will be still restricted by the 50 card restriction. If there are special conditions, you follow those special conditions, right? So long story short, okay, now this one is really interesting. We've gotten to the part of like the energy generator card, which is like the right deck crest, right? So this is a crest which you can only put 1 of these in your right deck. So in total, you will be playing 5, right? If you're playing Reforce Seed, it's gonna be playing 56 cards, right? So we are close to that 56, like 60 card mark, but whatsoever. So the skill auto right deck, when you write, you put this card in your crest zone, and if you're going second, you get energy charge 3. So that's the EC. So EC is like energy charge, EB is energy blast, right? So if you when you stand up your Vanguard and then when you ride, you can get this crest, and then you put it in your crest zone. And let's say going first, you don't get to energy charge 3, but if you do, when go second, you get to energy charge 3, right? And then continuous, you can only have up to 10 energy, which sees those Digimon counter, like kind of like equivalent of that. And at the start of your right phase, you get to energy charge 3, and then act once per turn, you energy blast 7. And then you draw 1 card, right? So which is really interesting, because like every turn you get to like energy charge 3, and then at one point you can technically just like energy blast 7, and you get to draw 1. So which is really interesting to way how to not filter per se, but like giving like some decks more consistency to like say draw the cards from that 50 those 50 main deck, right? So I think this is a very interesting way of how to utilize like new resources, for like introducing new levels of like resource management to play in this game. So that's definitely rather refreshing way to like start the system, start the game, you know, and that's about it. So in addition to this, like Elemental Popowa is a PR card, so which is really cute. And the name is pretty cute as well, Popowa, you know. So the skill is continuous Vanguard Vanguard skill. When you were to write from your right deck, you can pay energy +4 instead of choose one card from your hand and discard it, which is really interesting because you can play this card either as your Vanguard or as your rearguard, so which is very nice. And then also when this unit plays on rearguard circle or put to guardian circle, you energy +2 and this unit +5k power, 5k shield until the end of turn. So which is really good because it's a 15k attacker and a 10k shield provided if you have energy +2, right? So that's very generic, and you can play this in all the decks, and then it gives you all the power and the defenses necessary, and making, you know, good use of your energy generators as well. So that's about it, right? So some Q&As when it comes to like energy generators. When you have 8 energy and you energy charge 3, you can only reach 10, you cannot go reach 11, right? So that's about it, 10 is your max. So very interesting. After gaining the energy generator, can you gain other crests? Yes, you do, which means if you're playing strike decks, you get the crest. If you play like Token Rambu that has crest, you will get that crest as well, so it doesn't really clash with anything. So you can get like 2 crests at the same time, right? If you're playing like strike decks, or if you're playing like Token Rambu, etc., right? Or like Otobun, for example, or Mushiki, right? It will be the same, right? Can you use dice or other markers to reflect the energy or amount of energy that you have? No, you cannot. Boo! Okay, right? So you can only use officially distributed energy cards and energy counters that comes with the quick start decks. So this energy counters and energy crest, okay, energy generator crest will be in your TDs, alright? So that's why I implore some people to actually get this start decks, the quick decks in the next in the future, because this will be it. They will be provided in the, you know, and in the deck itself, right? So this will be the new field setup with the crest zone on the top left, so you can see. So this is your usual deck damage zone, etc. So your energy crest zone will be there lah. So on the top right, so your field setup is this. So this is the energy cards. So kind of like Pokemon in the sense that or like an equivalent to like Dawn cards in one piece, right? So it's really interesting. Can you put the energy generator in your main deck? No, you cannot. So that's a no. You can only have the right deck crest. With deck, you can only put it in your right deck. Can you put an energy generator in my deck for any regulations such as V and for V standard and V premium? And you know, for V and premium, no. You can only use it in standard, and that's about it. No more, nothing more than outside from standard. You can only use this in standard and nowhere else. Alright, so you cannot play this in V, Prem, and Premium. Okay, that's pretty cool. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope that clears up some of the clarifications. Okay. Also, here's another additional Q&A. If a Griffon Gira tech contains 15 trigger units and 35 cards including normal units and orders, yes, deck building limitations will still apply, 4 copy per name and 60 trigger list limit. But the count is still shared between the main deck and the right deck, right? So we can clarify on that. Can I add a right deck crest into my right deck in addition to the newly 50-man card deck rule? Yes, you can. Main deck must always stay at 50 cards, but your right deck can change depending on the deck specifications, so that's also clarified already. Okay, now the right deck crest. So the generator has the type of like the right deck crest, so it only goes to the right deck. However, you can only have one right deck crest at a time, only usable in standard. Strike crest and other auxiliary crest has the crest type, but since they are pseudo cards generated by effect, they do not exist in the main deck nor in the right deck. Of course, this crest can still coexist with your right deck, which I've mentioned earlier, so that's why I said like strike decks, Gotobun crest, Token crest, everything can be coexist. Okay. Can you put on the right deck in your crest on the side deck? Of course you can, as Rich has already explained. What happens if I could put a right deck crest in the deck that doesn't normally write like Griffon Seed? So like Griffon Seed, for example, right? Now since you do not perform a ride, you do not get the energy generator at first, but since once you ride into a grade 10 before Kira, that's where you get the access to the generator, right? So you only get your generator by the time you enter turn 4, right? Not like by the time you enter turn 3. Okay, so which is you have to take this into account, so bear this in mind. Early on, since you do not ride, you don't get the crest, but after you use Glyphosate skill to ride into grade 10, that's when you get the crest. So just to clarify things up, right? More rule change clarifications. Does the new going first applies to the V and the premium formats? Yes. The going first, going second will also applies on both V and premium, which is good and very interesting because everything probably we might see a shift in the meta depending on who the matchups, like who go first and go second, obviously, right? So that's good to know. In when it comes to like go first or go second, like does this only applies to D? I have like people asking me like, is it going to be applied in D only? At first we thought that it's gonna be in D, but not anymore. It applies to all formats regardless, so which is cool. Very nice. And then after that, is it okay to use other methods of random choosing aside from like rock, paper, scissors, like using dice, etc.? It is okay as long as both sides are in agreement. Otherwise, a judge will have to step in and end up doing RPS as a choosing method, right? So yeah, so you guys have to be very mindful of that when it comes to like official tournaments. So yeah, rock, paper, scissors. You choose first, then after that, you guys will have to like move on from there. Now, in addition to some of the things that we have mentioned about the DivineZ news, we also like to address like try to give you also like the same promo cards which we'll be releasing in January as well. So for the reprints, we have Theory, which will be is the grade 2 promo, not grade 2 promo, is a rare card in like BT. I don't remember which BT is, in BT 05 or something, where if like when placed on Vanguard circle, if your Vanguard is like you just has the same name. If your Vanguard has a clan with Soul Blast 1 and choose a card from your drop zone which has the same clan as your Vanguard's clan and put it into your hand, so it's usually normally played in what? Ho Mushroom is also very interesting, and then Rishus, yes, very staple in Sharpwat decks right now because of the additional plus 10k. And then Ho Mushroom as well, which is your token generator for you to like call 2 tokens. Very staple in like a lot of like Slovakia decks, right? So they will be reprinted, but no alternate arts, which kind of like bumps up a lot of people. So that's it. Now for the promos, we have like 4 new promos, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But the first one we go through is Delphina, or maybe 5. Okay, I've mistaken. Okay, now 5. So the first promo is Misty Guardian Delphina. Now Delphina is a grade 2, so Slovakia, of course. Misty is basically Lulu's PR. So the skill is that auto regal once per turn. At the end of a battle, your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Misty in its card attack. You Soul Blast 1, you restand it, and then plus 10k at the end of turn. And then auto regal skill at the end of your turn. If you have 3 or more units with Misty in your card names, you retire itself. Choose one Bestia in a card name and a different name from this card from your drop zone and add it to your hand. So technically speaking, this is a very good PR because you're giving Lulu like 5 attacks on the first grade 3, which is pretty interesting, and also get a power buff. Not to mention, you can bounce back like a lot of like Misty card names, which are very like essential. Like doesn't matter if it's the grade 2 or the grade 3s, as long as it's a different card name than her, right? So you cannot bounce back a Delphina. You have to bounce back like different cards that are Misty in this card name, right? So which means that if you discard a persona right for riding, and then at the end of the skill you can try to like you will retire itself and then just bounce that persona back to your hand. So which is good. 5 attack, can recycle. It's pretty nice already. And now this one I would say is very good Eternal Light Dragon, regular Star Dragon. So this is a promo for Bastion, so it's a great tool. Okay, I just want you guys to know that this is a great tool. Okay, so first skill, when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, you soul last one and reveal a Bastion in its card name from your hand. You choose one of your opponent's rearguard and retire it. And then skill continuous on the rearguard circle, guardian circle, hand on the trigger zone. If your Vanguard is Bastion, Great +1, shield +5k, which also active on your opponent's turn as well. Really interesting, right? So this kind of like fixes Bastion, like shield stuff, defense wise, and also like doing it like power wise, and also like in terms of like checking the triggers, etc. Right? So let's say if not checking triggers, like checking great trees in general. So if you're like gonna check like Bastion Prime, this will definitely gonna be the worth it. If you feel like, oh, okay, so if I don't check the great tree, I really can't stand over regards, this kind of like solves that kind of problem. And also like it's gonna be a 10k shield regardless if your 10k shield if your Vanguard is Bastion, so which is really interesting, and also on the field as well, which is kind of nice, right? And also if it's on the front row, you can get intercept, so which is pretty good. Some people say like before the whole DivineZ the rule regulations apply, people have been debating like what cards do I want to put in this deck, because like there's technically like no space. Now not anymore. You can technically like throw either of these promos like 4 cards in, and you can just call it a day. 4 extra slots means that you have like 4 of these extra cards inside, so which is good. But then again, I've seen some arguments like regular stuff, it's not probably gonna be played in Bastion, because they've said that there are more better defensive options, or there are more options to be played in Bastion, like the one that like soul +1, and then she can move herself for the back row center rearguard circle, and then +50k shield, if you remember that card. I don't remember what's the name of that card already, but it does exist in BT07, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And so yeah, this is really cool. Now this one is really nice. So this is Plutonic Prospector, which is a golem, and it's a grade 1 dark states. So he has a very interesting skill, right? So auto rearguard circle, when this unit at the end of the battle that this unit attack or boost, if your Vanguard is Almejester or Evil Eye in its card name, you put this in a soul and look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You choose up to 1 grade 3 from among them, add it to your hand, and then you shuffle your deck. The second skill, continuous guardian circle. If your bind zone has 2 or more trigger units in the bind zone, this unit plus 10k shield. So this really changes a lot of like what the deck building in Omnia Greyjoy and in Unicorn decks in general, right? So this one, not only it's a grade 1, so which means that if you went second, you can technically just like rush. You can play the grade 1 rush game, and then move itself to soul, which increases your soul count, and then you look at the top 7 and find 1 grade 3. It doesn't specify whether or not it's a unique card, an order card, so which means the amount of like the amount of like range that you can search for the grade 3s is gonna be very good, right? Let's say you can search for the mask order, you can search for the mask unit, or you can search for the persona rights, like their original versions. Like you can find like Omina Grigio, or you can find like Astra Unica for you to be discarded, and then just to remove it for using for the mask skill, and which is pretty good, right? So some people say that, and actually personally I will say this because you don't really have to play Scout Camda, and this is an instant fall off. Originally we didn't know what to do, like what to get rid of would be like say that when this card came out, but since the 50 card main deck restriction, and then 50 cards ruling come in, this is an instant fall off. So, and it doesn't have to be like a grade 3 Almejester or a grade 3 Evil Eye. So if you notice that this is only like if your Vanguard is like Almejester or Evil Eye, so means that you can only use this on grade 1 and grade 2 already, which is pretty good. And not to mention it's a 15k shield as well, so which is like super good for both Omina and Unica, and I'm very excited to get this deck, get this card and put them into these 2 decks as well, because I already have Unica and Omnia Greyjoy, so which is good. This is an instant fall off. I'm gonna get as much as possible of this card because this is very good. Okay, Knight of Slashing Evil may leak. So this one is a Tegra PR. So this is a great one Tegra PR. Okay, not to mention. So this is, this is a very good PR in general, because the skill is that act rearguard once, not once but the act rearguard. If you have a grade 3 with Tegra in its card name, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you bind herself, search your deck for up to two grade 3 unique cards with Tegra in its different card name from each other, reveal it, choose one of the Appeal to Justice Tegra, the new Tegra in BT11. From among them, write it as 10, put the rest of the review cards into your soul, then you shuffle your deck. Until the end of turn, that unit that wrote is being treated as the same name that the card was wrote upon. So technically speaking, you will be doing like a lot of like persona riding stuff with like persona riding shenanigans with Tegra. So there's like a huge amount of combos that you can do, like stacking persona rides, plus 15k, draw 2 cards, a lot of this stuff, right? So which is kind of nice because it kind of like makes you to go riding on the grade 3, go to the new Tegra without like stalling another turn, because usually you start off with that kind of like right deck, like riding the Tegra from your right deck, and then you usually have to wait the next turn for it. Now not anymore, you're one turn faster, which is very good, which means Tegra is gonna get stronger and stronger, which is pretty nice, right? And then and then we have Everspring Hunter Amarants. So this is a Rorowa grade 1 order as well. So we have a lot of like not order, sorry, grade 1 promo. Okay, not order, sorry, my bad. So act in the hand. This is a big face. Act in the hand. If you have a grade 3 Rorowa Vanguard, you put this card in your soul, search your deck for up to one very distant Rorowa, which is the BT11 Rorowa. You write it as 10, and then you shuffle your deck. If your Vanguard was placed during your right phase during this turn, or if your Persona wrote during this turn, you cannot activate Persona right. Yeah, so that's about it. So that's what it's supposed to do. And then Continuous Guardian Circle, if you have a Vanguard with Rorowa, this unit plus 5k shield. So it's only a 10k shield, but some people say it's not that impressive. I'll say otherwise, because the new Rorowa kind of helps you to generate that kind of like token in order for you to be retired, in order to draw 2, which means that you can use it for like Momoke to buff up, then you can play like Radilia, etc. and all that stuff, right? So and that is like pretty cool for Rorowa. Rorowa is a good promo. And then last but not least, Wishing Your Happiness. Now, some of you probably can guess that this is a curse play, so this is a curse play order. I didn't expect all of the promos that we are getting like this far. I didn't expect that Lutetia is gonna get like a new order. So that's about it. So it's a grade 2 normal order. It's a curse play. So you can play this card if you have a Lutetia Vanguard. Choose a card from your soul, add it to your hand, and put this card in your soul. Then if your soul have 2 or more curse plays, choose a card from your drop zone, put it into your soul, choose one of your units, and plus 5k until the end of turn. Now this is a very good order as well, because it's a grade 2, and then the best part about it is that since Lutetia plays a lot of this kind of like curse play orders, you want to reach as much of like curse play orders into your soul as much as possible to accumulate like Lutetia's like withstand and plus 5k. So like that is really good. I think you can filter and then like say that if you soul charge anything or something like that, you can bounce back a blitz order curse play into your hand in order for defensives. That is really good. I will say this is a very solid order for Lutetia as well. Kind of like the same way of like how the new gem for Really Start is, right? So everyone's gonna getting in Lyrical is gonna like get at least at one point is gonna get a very so you get a second order based on like whatsoever it is the playstyle. So because like for example Kyoka and Gods there's like magazines already, Lutetia got the curse play, and probably there's more in the future. I can't think on top of my head, but it's there, right? One thing is going to be very exciting is that we have a premium format recon deck. So we have the Avengers, we have Cecilia, the Musketeers, and we have the Dual Knights that are coming back in premium, which is really interesting because some of us are really screaming on the top of our lungs when we actually see this, like, yo, what the F, man. So when is this going to be released? This will be released in March next year, and it will go for 5,000 yen. So 5,000 yen, like give or take, is gonna be like around like 100 and 160 plus, 170 plus, depending on whichever area it is. So premium strike deck is very interesting, and you know that Bushiroad is gonna have to do that dedication on like doing moving forward with premium. With this deck, they will have to start off with this deck. So it is a pre-con deck. So this is a very interesting way to bring and attract people back to playing premium. So what's the extra stuff of it? All of these great fours, Raging Rapt, Evangeline, and then you have Cecilia. All of them will get new errata skills, which means there will be a revised versions of their old skills. So which means if you're playing the old versions of themselves, which I would theorize this is if they're going to do the same thing like some of the old cards in premium, they probably will do the same thing right here, which is that the new cards will be errata and will be also can be applicable to the old cards as well. So very good. This is one of the ways that like you bring people back to enjoy and experience like how premium is supposed to be, enjoy the nostalgia of like Revengers and Juvenilites, and Musketeers in general. So which is nice, and not to mention, they will also have to reprint this kind of triggers in all of the pre-con decks, which means that they will be one of the strike crits plus 15k crits to the GB1, over trigger, heal guardians, and draw PGs. Yes, this is what we actually want. This is what we actually need. This is the way how you introduce premium into the people. For those people who are really disinterested in premium, now they have it. It's super good, right? And it's one of the great major decisions I can applaud Bushiroad for like doing this kind of stuff, right? So probably this will not be the end, because I have a feeling in the near future they will do something like this and for the rest of the other decks, and possibly they will do it in English as well. So why not, right? So yes, thank you Bushiroad, well done. I will salute you for that. Okay, last but not least, I think I've kind of like missed this card. No, not. I'm pretty sure that I've went through this card before, but if I haven't, please skip this video. Please skip this section of this video if I already mentioned this card. But I don't think I've mentioned this card, which is this could be the new captor boss in the PR, not the it's a PR card, but I think it was gonna be in the new magazine. We have Humwelt. Okay, so the skill is continuous Vanguard circle. If you play a normal order this turn, front row rear guards plus 5k, and out of your back row rear guards gets boost. Okay, so which is good, I think. And then Vanguard attacks counter plus 1 top 5. Oh no, actually, to be fair, I think I've went through Humwelt already. Okay, never mind. I've went through Humble already. I have memory loss sometimes because it's been a while since I do this kind of news reviews. It's get a lot of exciting, and sometimes the news is getting a little bit too overwhelming, and I don't want to do this once every live stream. But whatever it is, I also want to highlight a lot of different interesting stuff from the DivineZ DivineZ stuff. And so that's about it. I think I would like to enjoy this video. Okay. Forgive my rant for a little bit. Okay. I think that's all for my video. If all of you really enjoyed this really long video and this long segment, please do hit like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Share this video to some of your friends who are still very clueless about what's about to come. And also, put down in the comment section down below how do you feel about the anime in general, how do you feel about DivineZ, what's your expectations, what do you feel what this stream could have done better, what this presentation could have done better, or in a sense that what other products do you think they should release. So yeah, that's about it. I'm hoping that at least once this year we are going to get 2 new strike deck sets. Hopefully my prediction is going to be either Tavas or Stoichia, or in terms of lyrical, we're gonna get back Loris. Okay, so I am still looking forward to those 2 nation strike decks whatsoever. Please come, alright? Please release those Bushiroad. We as the player base wanted to see more strike decks in the near future. Okay, so that's about it from me. So that's about it. I will end this video right here, right now. I do not want to ramble any further. It's already 2 a.m. in the morning, so I will end this video right here, right now. I will see you guys in the next video. This has been Professor Yunong 095 signing out. Goodbye.